Hey, Fort Wayne, welcome to another episode of Fort Wayne Footy. Tonight, we have a fun show because we actually have content to talk about. The game last night, Fort Wayne FC down here where I currently am in Naples, facing FC Naples in their first ever professional match. Unfortunately, the game did not go as we had all hoped it would, with Fort Wayne FC bringing home a 2-0 loss in their opening match in USL 1. But it gave us plenty to talk about, and we're excited to get into that tonight in this episode. We also have a special guest. Christina Copeland from Three Rivers Regiment is joining us tonight to talk about the watch party that she attended at J.K. O'Donnell's. All that right after this. This episode of Fort Wayne Footy is brought to you by OmniSource, one of America's largest processors, distributors, and managers of scrap and secondary metals based right here in Fort Wayne. Check out their services at omnisource.com. Fort Wayne Footy is also brought to you by LaserX, the Midwest's largest laser tag and arcade. They specialize in birthday parties, corporate team building, youth groups, sports teams, and family entertainment. You can find them at laserxfw.com. That's laser with a Z. And if you get over there, be sure to tell them Fort Wayne Footy sent you. All right, we are back. And I'll tell you what, doing a live intro is not something I've done for quite some time. A lot of pressure on that one, but how fun to do that. I am, as I mentioned in that intro, I'm still here in Naples. I was here live for the game. Yeah, it is hot. I know it's nice up there, but it's like 90 degrees hot and humid down here. So it's not all that lovely, but no, it was a good time being there live at the match, seeing Fort Wayne FC's first game. Lot to talk about from the sideline and from the watch party and from home, right? I know all of you got a chance to watch the game somewhere this weekend, and it's given us a lot to chat about. We talked, pre-show about all of our thoughts on the game and more. And it's hard to pin down some of like best performances and things, even though there was a 2-0 loss. Let me welcome in our cast of hosts tonight. Amanda Burge is joining us again. Amanda, how you doing?
Great. Good to be here. Thanks for having me back. Kind of a fun episode to get to jump back into. So I appreciate the call up.
Yeah, for sure. Glad you were available to join us. Dustin, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. It was fun to have the team back and playing, so I'm excited to talk about it tonight. Wish we were in Florida with you, Brian, but it's fine. We'll let you be there.
I mean, you wish you were in Florida with me.
Yeah,
I don't wish. No, I'm just kidding.
I said we. No. I didn't say you.
Yeah, no, it actually was. It would have been fun having y'all here. I got to hang out with Ian from the Forza Naples podcast that I interviewed a few weeks ago. Hung out with him and his family during the game on the sidelines, and pretty cool opportunity there. So I did have some other podcasters. They just weren't our podcasters with me. And Micah, welcome back, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, good to be back. Thanks for having me, Brian.
For sure. I know some of you watched on big screens on TV. Some of you watched on your phones and maybe rewatched it. Let's get into our first impressions of this match, right? This is the first time we've talked circles around what we think might happen in this first match. We've talked about preseason games we knew nothing about, guessing at lineups and formations and who was going to be out there and what the tactics were going to be. We actually got to see a game this week. So let's get into some first impressions of Fort Wayne FC in their opening match in Naples against FC Naples. Dustin, I'll let you get us started.
Yeah, so I was, we were talking beforehand. I said one thing that really shocked me and I was excited about at the same time was that all the returners started the game. So we had the 4 returners, Briscoe starting in goal, Sprout and Diaz and Hernandez, all 4 of them started. Wasn't expecting that in any way, shape, or form. I think they're all good players, but I just wasn't expecting all 4 of them to start in the first game. So kind of cool. I don't know what you guys thought about that, but I wasn't expecting it, and it shocked me a little bit.
Yeah, if you look at the stats, I mean, they held their own. They the guys that started that, I mean,
Yeah.
Naples had 2 shots on goal.
Yeah.
You know, and you get stats like that. I mean, they are holding their own
Yep.
defensively. So
Yeah.
I thought they did well.
It felt to me like a, go with the guys that got you here kind of thing. Like, let's give them a chance. They haven't proven anything other than their strong back line, and they don't lose a lot of games. And so, there were some issues, I think, with Shipman's, papers or whatever. So it wasn't able to get in. He did travel just in case things came through. Briscoe gets a start and may have anyway. I don't know. But yeah, all 4 of the guys, returners, started the game, and how fun was that to see? Yeah. Amanda, first impressions of this match.
I think you definitely saw the extended preseason. So there was cohesion. There was an understanding of each other. There was connectivity that I think if it were last season, before they had this type of lead in, may not have been there. And so it really, yes, there were some issues. There's some things to work out, but it wasn't to the degree that you were like, man, these guys have never stepped on the pitch officially together. It didn't look that way. It didn't feel that way. And although the result was lopsided, man, I think it was pretty evident that they've got some cohesion already building.
Yeah. The result may have, you said lopsided. I don't think the game itself was very lopsided. Fort Wayne, we'll look at some stats here in a few minutes, but had the ball, and you could tell in the first half of each half, they were going after it. They were trying to go after it. Had the attacking, they were attacking more than Naples was in that, and then just kind of lost some steam there at the end of each half. So, definitely held their own. Cohesion was good. Micah, first impressions.
Yeah, I think their inexperience showed at times. I think especially on the first goal, that the timing of that first goal that was scored on them, I think they were probably a little naive defensively, where they just lost shape, and I think they were chasing a little bit. So I think at the end of the day, I counted there's 11 first-year pros that this was their first time stepping into a professional environment. And then looking at Naples, they had 3, So I think that experience alone, just how to handle those types of situations. And all those players are high-level players, right? They've been national championships, they're scoring goals in national championship games. So I think, but it's a different level, and there's levels to soccer. So I think they're going to get stronger as the season goes on, especially those young players. So I think it's a really good learning experience for them.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. A lot of new players, and we knew that going in to professional soccer. That's why they're here, to get their professional start, right? But they didn't back down. They weren't afraid.
No, not at all.
They took it to Naples. Like I said, the first part of each half, they really took it to them and came out and said, we're not backing down. We've got this. This is our game to lose. And unfortunately, that's the way it went. My first impression was, beyond the starting 4, the returners starting, was the formation that they rolled out. And I don't know if it's official, like what they like. I know FOTMob, I know SofaScore, and I know whichever one Amanda or somebody else was looking at, like, they all had formation and players in different places. And so nobody had it right. So I don't know officially what it was, but to me, they started in a 5-back system with Rempel. They had Musa at left center back. They had Diaz center back. Sproat was right center back, and then we had Hernandez playing on the right side. So they started with a back 5 that Hernandez and Rempel played very high, and so you could say maybe it was a 3-back for midfield 2-1. But they really shifted. They started in the 5, and Hernandez played really high the first part of the first half. He shifted back into the right back, and Rempel played high later in the half and into the second half. So I'm calling this formation the 5-3-2-1. I think, or whatever that was, 5-3-2, maybe 5-3-1-1. Like, I don't even know what I would call it, but it was 5 in the back. They had Armas and Healy and Jordan. So Armas and Jordan as defensive mids. They had the 2 attacking mids in Betcher and Healy. And then I guess it was Recall was a single player up top. So 5-2-2-1 3-4-2-1, I guess is what it was.
Mhm.
It was really interesting how they played that and then shifted that outside back from
Mhm.
one side to the other, playing up
Mhm.
high. So I was actually talking to Ian there, and I was like, all right, we've got the 4-4. No, this is 5. There's 5
Yeah.
back here right now. So that my first impression was, okay, 5 backs. This is a different look than we've seen out of Fort Wayne FC that's played a
Mhm.
4-3-3 pretty consistently. And it was different, but
Mhm.
it looked good the way they played it.
Mhm.
Yeah, the
So,
more I'm coaching, I'm seeing that 5-back system or 3-back
Yeah.
with the wing backs more and more often.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is where Fort Wayne is looking to press. And Brian, you'll see a similar formation with the Osnabrück boys, where they play
Yeah.
that 5-2-2-1 or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting as the season goes on to really see the tactics involved in putting these players in the right places.
Mhm.
Yeah. We've got a couple of first impressions here from Christina, who's joining us later. Love the aggressive play from the jump, full effort on every 50-50. It's a huge factor getting to wins for sure. Brandon Spice says the biggest takeaway I had from the game is they didn't look like a first-year team. And I certainly don't think I agree with that. I do agree with that. I certainly don't think they look like a first-year team.
Mhm.
That was good. And then Paul, first goal was a ripped shot, but he had way too much space to take it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that a little bit later, why he was open and why I thought Naples should have passed it to him way sooner because he was
Earlier.
even more open.
Yeah.
And they just waited and waited and waited and found the space. So
Mhm.
Well, and two,
we'll get into that
if
a
you're
little bit.
fluctuating that back line between 5
Yeah.
and 4 and potentially 3, confusion comes into play of like, hey, who
Uh-huh.
has
Yeah.
him? And I think that's where the breakdown was.
Mhm.
So eventually I think they'll settle into what that line's going to look like and who's responsible for what. But that may be
Right.
the key on that one.
Mhm.
Right.
I will
Yeah.
say
And
go ahead, Brian.
no, you go.
I was just gonna say the other thing. I wanted to piggyback off of what Christina said in that the aggressive play. I thought we played really aggressive. I mean, we got a few
Mhm.
cards, pretty early on in the game, but I think we set the tone because I think FC Naples was an aggressive team, and we knew that going into it. So we came out with the same intensity. I was happy about that. We saw it last year from our back line a lot of times, and so I like it. I like that they didn't come in and sit back and just kind of let Naples run the game right away.
Right.
They were as aggressive as they were. So I loved it. I loved how they started out in both the beginning of the first half and the beginning of the second half because it was just it felt very very together and very aggressive and very like we're not scared.
Yeah.
So mhm.
Yeah, and I think we'll recognize more and more of this out of our team, out of Fort Wayne FC as the season goes. But the being there with Ian, knowing this team was
Mhm.
really interesting to hear him talk because there were 2 of their late subs he had as starters. He was like, these guys
Really?
are going to start, and they weren't. And so the fact that they came in off the bench when we've got young guys, tired legs, they're bringing in experience from last year and one of the best teams in the league, and 2 of the best players from one of the best teams in the league coming in off the bench late in the match to seal it was pretty interesting in that how they did that. So we've already kind of started. Let's get into this match recap here. So playing at the Paradise Coast Sports Complex, which was a beautiful complex, by the way. If you were following our story throughout the day, Asher and I got down there early and walked around a bit, saw the stadium, almost got on the pitch, which was really cool. There was a goalkeeper camp going on and just a beautiful place, fun environment, even as a visitor. It was a fun environment to be in, super cool. Ultimately, as you know, loss 0-2 to Naples. First half, we've already talked about this a little bit. Started in what looked like a 5-2-2-1 or a 3-4-2-1, however you want to say that. We did have one James Musa playing center back, just to confirm if there was still any question there. Left center back there for him. Anthony Hernandez, Rempel alternated playing high.
You're going to say that and then just keep trucking and not acknowledge the fact that it actually went out in print, well, digital print, that he was going to be in the midfield just a little before the game. You're just going to say that, laugh, and keep right on trucking.
Now, I don't know if you heard me at the beginning of the show and said there were 3 different lineups and had players in 3 different positions. Yeah, I mean,
but
I
we
feel
get
like
to
I already
acknowledge that I
acknowledged
had
that.
justifiable reason.
Yeah.
Speechless. You're
Fort Wayne
speechless.
still has him listed as a midfielder. Like, that's your justifiable reason, and I get that. But there was one
proceed.
player that was playing way out of position, which we'll talk about later in the show. If you watched, you know who we're talking about. So yeah, I thought there was some creative play through the midfield. We've got a lot of conversation about JP Jordan and Tag Healy and some of those guys. What do you guys think about the play through the midfield?
I personally really liked both Tag and JP. I felt like they were really aggressive. Again, like we just talked about. They were in so many different plays, making at least a little bit of an impact, maybe fouling, maybe being a little bit chaotic, I think is what we had said at the beginning. But at the same time, like making an impact and making themselves known there. I saw more of them on the screen, on the TV when I was watching the game than I did a lot of other players. So they were making an impact to the point of that they were being shown on the screen. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
so to me, that meant that they were there. They were playing, that they were yeah, I was impressed with both of them. I'm seeing Tag when I watched the College Cup this last year, and I felt like he showed up and showed out, to be completely honest, in his position for at least the first half of the first half, and the other again the second half of the first half of the second half as well. So I was impressed with both of those guys.
Yeah, those two are battlers. Like they look for contact. They look to get into tackles, and I absolutely love that. Still remember that story that Coach Avery said when he was talking to JP Jordan.
Yeah,
when he said, "Coach, I'm a dog." Right. So I love that story, and he did not disappoint.
No.
Yeah. It's interesting. We didn't get a chance to talk about it because it just happened on Monday with the kit reveal and all of that. We talked to a lot of these players. We've been releasing. We've got a few more interviews to release. Some of the guys that we interviewed there. But hearing these guys talk, being with them live in person, seeing their personalities, and then who are, I don't know that I necessarily say soft spoken, but really like good guys to talk to, like carry a good conversation, like really engaging. Seem like really, really good guys. Get out there and start throwing people around. Like I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Because when you get on the field, you compete, right?
Yeah.
Off the field, stand-up guy. On the field, they're all stand-up guys.
Yeah.
But man, they go out to compete. And so that was just fun seeing that, the difference in my impression of personality on Monday night and seeing them on the field live in person on Saturday night was awesome. Like,
are you talking about JP?
Yeah, he was one of them.
Dude, he was so quiet and just soft spoken when we interviewed him. I even walked out to the car with him afterwards, and he was just like, yeah, like super, super quiet and just chill. And then he was not that when he played yesterday. It was really cool to watch.
Which I love that, right? That fire that's burning in, like, we've got to go, we've got to do this. And so ton of as far as play through the midfield, I thought these guys, and I've been the one that's been saying it for weeks now, at least, like the partnerships that develop were the last things to come along. And I really feel like they were way farther ahead than I anticipated. And I say that not just because they were finding each other, they were finding each other with one touch behind the back heel flick passes. Like, it was super creative, and they knew where guys were, and they were trusting one another with these runs and the way they were playing the ball. So they are light years beyond what I anticipated seeing in this first match. Unfortunately, they didn't connect up top. The last final ball never really got there, never connected, but that's the stuff that takes a while to develop. Like, that's the next thing, right? Finishing, and it'll come. They've got guys that can finish, but it's that last, getting that ball through the 18, through the back line, and then in on goal, which Rico made a ton of really good runs that were timed incredibly well. And the ball just didn't get slipped past that defender. He stretched out, got a toe on it or whatever. Like, they were just inches away from scoring multiple goals last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think credit does go to FC Naples where they're able to manage the space and behind.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the goal right before halftime,
I know.
it was a killer. You know,
Mhm.
Naples was able to go into halftime, make some adjustments, and kind of change the game a little bit, where they were
Yeah.
managing the space behind the back line, and then even in front of the back line, where they were probably sitting a little deeper than Fort Wayne expected, where there wasn't much available. Much space available, so they did a really
There might
good
have
job
been
managing that.
there might have been some questionable decisions in whether to rip a shot or dish off to somebody else, maybe
Yeah.
hang on to it a second longer. Who doesn't want to score the first goal in the history of the club at this level?
For sure.
And so there were definitely some shots taken that probably after the fact, the guys were like,
Yeah.
I probably
Yeah.
should have found him routing through, or I should have touched that one more time. And those are the things that are just so easy to figure out moving forward.
Yeah.
There was a bit, Dustin, did you think? I think there was a bit of that towards the end that every team faces when you're down, even when we were down 1-0, you have just that little bit of extra. It takes an extra second to calm your heart rate, to take that deep breath and to make the best possible decision. And I'm not sure we're quite there yet, but they're beyond capable. So it's another thing that's an easy tweak.
Yeah, I think to counter that a little bit late in the game, I forget who it was, had the ball at the top. If it was a Wudor or someone that it looked to, 22 yards out, looked to have a shot and chipped it to the back post where nobody had a chance of getting the ball. That, again, probably 90% of the time that's the right decision when you've got a 6'8" player playing up top, but just wasn't there that time. All right, let's get into this goal, right? We talked about maybe a little bit of a defensive breakdown late in the first half. It was in the 45th minute. There were a couple extra minutes of extra time beyond that. Defensive breakdown. Yeah, Rempel was playing high up the field. It came down on the left side. He was playing high, not putting this one on him by any means. We had three other guys back there shifted over. Naples had a guy running right down the middle, and I was shocked he didn't pass the ball immediately because he was already in behind. And the gentleman standing next to me at the time is screaming, "Why didn't you? He was open!" Like just losing his mind because it was an easy in on goal. But he cuts it back, passes it off to a teammate, ball slots out back wide again, plays the ball across to the next runner who finishes it. And so I think in that moment, Naples, more than a defensive breakdown on Fort Wayne's part, I think they were expecting the ball going to that back post immediately too. And so they're having to, okay, he didn't play it. Now what do we do? We've got to shift around. Naples, to your point, I think, Micah, you talked about the number of professionals who have experience in the professional league playing. Like they showed so much patience on that one and just let a play develop without forcing it. And it paid off for him in the end.
Yeah, I rewatched the goal several times. You could just see him just kind of ghost into the area and just put himself in the right spot. And Naples didn't find him right away. I mean, he was standing on top of the 18 unmarked for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
And it just or we probably recognized it, but it was just a split second too late. But that's sometimes the difference of experience, just knowing when to kind of ghost into an area and take that chance.
That's how goals happen in soccer. Like that's just how it happens. We've got part of it was Briscoe had a lot of bodies. Absolutely had a lot of bodies in front of him. I don't think he saw that ball coming until it got past the last defender. I think it was within his reach to get there, but he didn't see it. It was far too late before he had a good read on that ball. So it was good play by Naples. I'll give this one to Naples more than a defensive breakdown on Fort Wayne FC's part. Like they were patient, looked for the open man, moved the ball well, and it was a crisp shot in a high traffic area. Our goalkeeper couldn't see it. So
it was a gorgeous shot.
It was.
It was. Absolutely
it really
was. We did have one that we didn't talk about, that we did hit the post early off a corner. Thiago Diaz gets on the end of it, puts the ball. I don't know if it was off the upright or if it was off the post. It was on the other end of the field. I couldn't see exactly where, but I saw it ricochet come out, which is awesome. That as I looked to Ian, I was like, number 4, that's our target. Watch him. And he gets on the end of it and almost scores. And then another one he gets on the end of, sends it back across late in the game. And so he's still finding balls in the air like he did all of last season and his last couple with the team. Just good there. Second half, no real changes at halftime anyway. No subs. Fort Wayne FC continued to create chances. They were the better team through much of the first part of the second half, and then started to lose some momentum late in the half, which is when we started seeing some substitutes come in. So we had Awudor come in for Haley in the 68th minute, Trace Terry for Betcher, which I'll tell you what, he's a big dude. Trace Terry I thought Ryan Betcher was a big dude. Trace Terry is, I think, a little bit bigger than Betcher is. I didn't see him like up close and personal, but he just looks like it. Which is, I think it was a really good like for like sub. 2 big guys, good with their feet, good aggressive players. To get him in there late in the game. He had just signed with the team just that day or the day before, I believe, right? So getting some new guys out there. Jeremy Garay came in for Jordan at the same time in the 68th minute. Later in the game, Jaden Smith comes in for Hernandez, and Solis comes in for Musa. But Solis slots into the striker position instead of a center back position, which threw me for a loop. Let's talk about these substitutes. How did they change the game or not change the game, in your opinion?
I didn't see much change in terms of shape, formation, level of energy, unfortunately. I was surprised when I saw Musa go up top. I'm like, oh, well, I guess you do throw your
Solis go up top.
Solis, sorry. You throw your 6'8", 6'9" guy up top and just go route one and, play it. But
there was one shot that panned on him almost as soon as he went in the game, and I want to go back and watch it again, but it was almost that look like when you're in middle school or high school of like, look what coach is letting me do. I never get to do this, but I get to do it right now. And it was just a glimpse, like he was all business, but it was that one little moment of he knew I'm being put in this spot for a very specific reason, and it's to get one back. I mean, why not? Even the commentators for the first corner that came in, they're talking about, there's no question who their target's going to be. All you got to do is put it right on his head. And we almost did. But that was really fun to see that little tiny glimpse of like, oh, this is fun. I don't ever get to do this.
I felt like the subs were almost like tit for tat. Like it was like the same, like what Micah said. It was like the same player came in for a different player, but they played the same way. The formation stayed the same. The energy was the same. Usually what you're hoping from those subs is that they're going to come in and it's just going to change the pace of the game. They're going to have all that energy and do it. I didn't really see that. Not that those guys weren't playing well. It was just very similar to what the guys that they came in for were playing. So, and maybe that's time, as time goes on and they learn these things about each other, that will change. But I didn't see a huge difference, but I didn't see a drop off either.
So there was a little confusion when he came in with the group that I was hanging out with. I was like, all right, he's our 6'8" center back, watch for him on corners. And he went up top and they were like, he's a center back. And I said, that's what he's listed as. I think, like, I had to check the roster. But again, they've got another player listed in a different position than he plays. He wears number 19. When's the last time you saw a number 19 as a center back? That's normally a striker number, a guy that plays higher up the field. It doesn't have to be, but that's typically the case. So I don't know. I was a little thrown off by that. Like maybe we have him listed in the wrong spot too. So we'll have to see how this goes, but I certainly did not expect him either way to play up top there in that match. So, all right. Late in the game gave up another opportunity, but created another chance too. So Ryan Betcher gets on the end of a pass that looked like it may have been an errant pass. It was a little bit hit too hard. A defender gets to it. But he bodies the defender off of it, turns the ball, plays it straight across the middle to Recol, who's running onto it back post, and somehow does not get anything on it. The ball continues on by him. He ends up injured in the back of the net, right? He got bumped. He stepped on something happened that he was there, and whatever happened to him held him up from actually getting a clean touch on that ball, which could have, I don't know if that would have leveled it at the time or if that would have just made it 2-1.
Yeah, I think it
can't
was
remember.
1-0. I think it was 1-0 at that time.
Yeah. So either way, something happened. That was a great chance there late in the second half. And then again, in the 88th minute, the game was put away by Naples and one of their subs that had come on, who was a starter last year, from my understanding. So let's talk about key performances. There were quite a few of them. There was, we had this conversation about, we'll talk about man of the match here in a minute and how hard it was to pick a man of the match because there were some really key performances. What did you guys think about some of the players that we saw on the field last night?
I think Jordan had obvious energy, decent confidence in the middle of the park, did a great job sort of conducting the game. And that's something you have to see straight out of the gate. So that sets the tone, allows us to build around that moving forward, which is critical.
Dustin?
I felt like I felt like he did well, especially early on in the game. Again, they came on, showed him multiple times, a couple times arguing with the ref or arguing over a call, but I feel like he made an impact really early on in the game, and then I didn't see a lot later on, but right away that was one of the guys that they kept showing on the camera. So I felt like he played well and did what he needed to do to start out the match, and then was pretty consistent throughout.
Yeah. Micah, key performers for you?
I really liked Javier Armas in the midfield. I thought he was an anchor, definitely held things down, calm on the ball, did well. I think his experience showed through.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Javier Armas was one of mine key performers. Michael Rempel definitely was one for me. That guy played wing back, winger, left back, like the way that this team was playing, alternating him and Hernandez high up the field. There was so much being asked of him. And if you notice, the guy's got a gun on him when he throws the ball in, to the point where when they got anywhere within the final third and the ball went out on the right side of the field, he trucked all the way across from left back to the right side to throw a ball in because he's dangerous with the ball there. And I think, Dustin, you pointed out, threw a ball in, it gets taken away, bounces around, and he
blew back.
To the left side of the field and got to the ball.
I wonder if that volleyball background has anything to do with the arm that he has.
Maybe so.
Throwing the ball in. I mean, we can't rule it out. But no, he's quick. He's really quick. And that was one thing that shocked us. And I think that Micah and you were talking about that beforehand too. Like, I wasn't expecting that. And not that I was thinking he was going to be slow by any means, but like, he's flipping fast. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, how elite his athleticism is. So I'm excited to keep watching him, and I think next week's match, like, he's going to be one that I will focus on just to see exactly what he's doing out there.
A lot of votes for Rempel in the comments here. I like to see that. Let's jump to, I'm going to get to our big picture takeaways, but I'm going to skip that and get to our man of the match. The first ever Fort Wayne Footy man of the match goes to, we don't have sound effects because I was
like, do we have a drum roll?
No, I'm here and I'm not at home. Javi Armas as a Fort Wayne Footy man of the match for the way he controlled and conducted the midfield. And again, this was a hard conversation as we talked through this one beforehand. I think between the four of us and two others that were on with us pre-show, we had votes for like four different people that could have gone for the man of the match. So congrats to Javi Armas for whatever it means to you to get Fort Wayne Footy's first ever man of the match performance. Let's big picture takeaways before we transition to the next part of our show. Big picture takeaways. Amanda, what do you think after week one? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we're off by inches. I talk to my girls about this all the time. We're so close to where we need to be. And if you go back and you look at the missed passes or the missed touches or the knocks off the goalpost, we're literally off by inches, and inches are so easy to correct. If we're off by feet, or we're off by, hey, I'm calling for a drop ball and you slot one diagonally through, we have a bigger issue. The boys are off by inches, and that is a few tweaks over time, and it all comes together.
Yeah. Micah,
It's fun.
thoughts?
It's fun to be here. I know, Brian, when you approached, me, year and a half ago at this point about the show, like, hey, we're getting this professional team. It's fun that it's actually here, and we have content to talk about, right? So
Yeah.
that I'm excited for the rest of this year. I mean, it's going to be a long season, but I think the best is yet to come.
Yeah. Yep. Very good. Dustin, big picture takeaways after week 1.
Yeah, I was nervous leading up to the game. We're going down to Tampa, to a really good Tampa team for our first game as a professional team.
Naples.
To Suits. Yeah, Naples, sorry. Going down to Naples to play. And I was nervous. I was like, what are we going to do? Are we going to show up, or are we going to be that team that just joined the pros and they don't know what they're doing? I was extremely impressed with our boys. I felt like they held their own the entire game, and I'm excited to see how they continue to progress throughout the rest of the year. I think that this being their first game and just losing 2-0, and it really was pretty even throughout the entire game, I'm very impressed with what they're going to do for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go away from the game and say just the environment at the stadium makes me really excited about Fort Wayne FC Park when we get home to our stadium. There were probably, I think, capacity at Paradise Sports Complex where this game was played was like 4,500. There, I'm guessing there were about 3,500 there last night. I don't know if they announced
like 4,000.
Yeah, it was
Did
over
they say
4,000.
4,000?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It definitely wasn't capacity, but it was close. It was a lot of fun, friendly environment, like just all around. I was the only one in a Fort Wayne hat and a Fort Wayne shirt that I could see, at least on my side. And, everybody's super friendly. And so
they showed one couple. That was dressed.
So there were some of the players' families were there. So I did get to at least see some other ones across the way eventually, but super friendly, super fun atmosphere. Makes me really excited to get a game here at home at Fort Wayne FC Park in May when that place opens. We're going to shift our attention here after the break to the watch party. There was a large group of people hanging out at J.K. O'Donnell's. Christina Copeland's going to join us to tell us all about the watch party there right after this. This portion of the show is brought to you by Dead One Pest Control. If you've been looking for a local pest control service in Fort Wayne and surrounding communities, look no further than Dead One Pest Control. They work with both residential and commercial clients to get rid of all types of pests, including those dreaded bed bugs. No job is too big or small for them to handle, so you can count on their capable crew for whatever local pest control service you need. Reach out today to schedule an appointment at deadonepestcontrol.com. And remember, the only good pest is a dead one. And if you're looking for tree service of any kind, including removal, trimming, stump grinding, or landscaping, check out R&T Tree Experts. They work year-round, even through these cold winter months, so you don't have to wait for spring. Just visit their website, fill out their estimate request form, and be sure to tell them Fort Wayne Footy sent you to receive 10% off your service. All right, and we are back. Christina, welcome to the show again. Welcome back to the show. Glad to have you. How are you feeling tonight?
I am doing pretty good. Pretty happy about, season is finally here. We're finally in the USL League One season.
It's been a long time coming, hasn't it?
It has been a long time. It's been a long road.
Yep. So you have done a lot of work preseason leading up to this with Three Rivers Regiment.
Just a little bit.
Like casual couple evenings and,
Yeah. You've done a lot of banner painting, a lot of preparation. First watch party at J.K. O'Donnell's. I know you didn't necessarily host that, but a big part of that. So tell us a little bit before we get into the watch party, a little bit about Three Rivers Regiment and the work that you guys have been doing in preparation for the season.
Yeah, we've been full for like the last few months, just of kind of a full weird sprint. Been doing a lot of banner paintings, a lot of we have the banner designs going on right now for the signature banner. If you guys remember the one that all the guys sign for goals and clean sheets. We've been working on membership perk stuff, trying to recruit more players, or not players. I'd love for players to be a part of the group. More fans to be a part of the group.
I think we need the players on the field, Christina, not in the supporter section.
Well, they can also be supporters. They can support us while we support them. There you go.
It's full circle. I like it.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. We've been spending a lot of time doing a lot of, honestly, a lot of this time that's been spent, besides like meetings, boring stuff, as banner painting on our hands and knees with those paintbrushes. Shout out to all the members who've been showing up. I think we've hit probably 8 different days at this point that we've been doing banner painting. So, and we're not even done. So we have a lot. We've been doing a lot.
Wow. That's awesome. And that'll pay off, I think, when Fort Wayne comes home in
100%.
May. So looking forward to that. Can't wait to see you raise the first TIFO. I know I keep saying that, but
This man.
by the way, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole necessarily, but did you see Atlanta tried to raise their TIFO last night? And like the one side of it didn't go up. Like it was a disaster. It was bad. So when Fort Wayne raises a TIFO, it will not be like that. It will be professionally well done. And by the look on your face, I know it's going to happen sooner than later. So
I love that for you.
Yeah. Oh man. So you were at the watch party last night. I heard you were like directing traffic, hosting people. Like it was mass chaos, lots of people. I saw a picture that you couldn't even get in the room because there were so many people there. Tell us a little bit about the environment there at J.K. O'Donnell's.
Honestly, I people ask me and I'm like, it was the best problem I've ever had in my entire life. Yes, it was a problem because we didn't have anywhere for people to sit.
Wow.
But like what a kind of a huge blessing if we kind of go back. Yeah, are you volunteering? That's crazy. I haven't seen you at you've never picked up a paintbrush.
Ouch.
That you know of.
Rough.
I'm busy making TIFOs over here.
Oh, that's crazy. I would love to see where you're
Asked
at
to see
on
a
your
picture.
progress. Yes. Picture it didn't happen.
Secret. It's super secret. It'll come out when the time's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was one of those things where we had nowhere to sit people. Like the whole hall itself was packed. And shout out to a couple of the people who, along with myself, were just sitting there, and as seats became available, just sniping up seats as best as we could. And we had all of the hall that was packed, and we actually had that little alcove area right off of the hall that they ended up having to show the game on the small screen over there too, because there was no more room. If I kind of guesstimated that there was probably close to somewhere around 100 people at this watch party, which, I mean, if you think about, years in the past, streaming hasn't always been great. So that always hinders these watch parties. But, in the earlier days where there was like 10 of us, maybe, and then it's like, there's people that I'm on every game. There's people I don't know. I've never seen at watch parties before. We did, I was out there with my business cards trying to recruit people as best as possible. It was great.
As you should.
That's awesome.
I'm trying. We had Christy and Ryan from the merch were there selling merch. So it was just like, it was a total vibe. it was packed. It was
Mm.
quite close, everyone. I was trying to do, those people who do the roller coasters, and it's like, how many are in your party? You have two? Okay, great. Well, we have 2 seats over here. Do you guys mind sitting with someone? You're with one. You can sit right here with them, and introducing everybody. I was like, everyone commingle, get to know each other.
Yeah.
Sit down.
That's fun. What is the energy in the room? A lot of people crammed in there. Kickoff, good stream. What's the energy in the room at an event like that? Kicking off first professional game.
Oh, to the dismay of people who didn't, because there wasn't a sign. No one like printed off anything that at least I saw on like the door or anything. So unsuspecting, oh, let's go to Jakey's and have a nice dinner.
Oh,
Came
no.
into that area, and then all of a sudden people, just pops of yellow started coming in. And then we were trying to maybe hey, why don't you hit the road? We need these tables. And we started chanting and cheering and doing. And these poor people were coming for dinner and probably had no idea that this was coming.
Oh, no.
And I do feel bad for them. And shout out to nobody got, mad at us. Got a couple of but whatever.
Right.
But there
Wow.
were, we were, the second the game was on, everyone's clapping and cheering, and we're chanting at every corner kick. It was just, shout out to literally all of the three. I want to say Three Rivers Regiment because I'm gonna take our group's gonna take a little bit of credit for getting those chants and everything. There were more than just the 3RR there, but the energy in that room was, it was rowdy. It was we were causing a ruckus. And the poor other patrons of the restaurant and the poor wait staff, if they didn't get a heads up, whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was, as you look back on the night, what was your favorite moment of the night with that many people together watching a match despite a loss? What was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment. Honestly, I think it really was the very beginning when it goes from your event's about to begin or whatever, and then it's just boom, and it's there, and we're at a stadium, on ESPN Plus, and it's USL League One. It's the first game of the season, and it's it's just it's a totally different. I don't know, you've got last year where it was whatever streaming service they have, that's the one you get. And this was this was legit. This was the thing. And everyone, you could just feel we were kind of frustrated, with the whole seating arrangements. And then all of it seemed to just be gone. And it was now we're just focused on how cool this moment is. So yeah, honestly, that first initial reaction, that initial realization, this is it, we're finally here. It was so cool.
That's awesome.
It was so cool.
Yeah. So I flew down here the other day with Joshua Patterson from the Journal Gazette, and he put an article, a recap out, but he's on his own personal Facebook page where he posted the article. He talked about just enjoying the moment, living in the moment of being here, taking it all in, which it was pretty surreal being here live. But even to be in a room with 100 people that no one expected to be that full, to be that rowdy, to be that exciting, to be that warm, probably shoulder to shoulder breathing on each other.
Yeah, I bought my first merch last night. I needed a t-shirt so bad.
That was their plan all along.
Yeah.
I think that's what Christy actually was doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Christina, are there hopes or plans of opening the pitch for watch parties in the future?
So, God, I certainly hope so. That's something, a lot of people have asked post last night of hey, what are we gonna do? Because it was very packed. It was very hot. My understanding was that they are working on probably opening up the pitch as of next week. Next week also being the weekend before St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, right.
And they do have an event, at least
Mhm.
there in the restaurant. It did say that there's an event going on the 14th for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm kind of wondering how that's all going to work out, because we did take up a lot of space, and JK's is an Irish pub, and it is the weekend before St. Patty's Day. So I'm a little curious how that's going to pan out. If, maybe there needs to be just for one weekend, one day, do a little bit of I don't know, audible or something, because yeah, I think the pitch is supposed to, my understanding from the wait staff that we talked to, and shout out to the JK White staff that had to deal with all of the people moving, and I'm standing up and there's people just like there was a couple that, I'm not joking, stood for they got there a little bit early and they could not get a seat. And they stood for the entire first half and until like part of the second half before some seats came available. And I was like, shout out to you for still being here. This is a long time to just stand if you were expecting to be sitting. It was good practice.
I can't sit during a soccer game anyway.
Yeah. It's good practice for our standing room only section,
right?
In the new stadium.
Yeah. Well, I would think if they're being served, they're probably happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Are all the watch parties scheduled to be at JK's, or is it going to be a rotating, week by week thing? I live under a rock, so I don't know.
No. To be fair, not a ton of details have been shared with us about what that looks like. If that's an agreed upon amount of games, or if that's for the rest of the season. So, I mean, I'm just happy to have a bunch of people to watch the game with. If we have to be flexible and move somewhere else for a couple of games, it's different when it's a Wednesday night, 7 p.m. game, like JK's, come on in. We would love your revenue. On a night like last night, it's a Saturday night. They're just really, it was really busy. So, and I hate that, we weren't able to accommodate everybody.
Yeah. Could you imagine though? It sounds like either way, adjustments need to be made because so many people showed out for this thing. So can you imagine bars and restaurants all over Fort Wayne hosting watch parties because there's so many people in our city that want to get behind this team, that no one place can hold everybody? Like, how cool would that be? Like, I love the atmosphere of everybody there, but if we had 3 or 4 different places that had that atmosphere because we just can't get everybody in, I'm looking forward to the day when our fandom grows to that point, and we have this kind of problem all over Fort Wayne.
Or close to the stadium if they start to build up the places. I mean, I'm just thinking like those kinds of places, if we already have this on the first game of the professional, team, then what does that look like for organizations that are wanting to maybe put in a new place by the stadium? Just saying.
Right.
Deer Park's right down the road.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
lots of good places.
If we thought JK's was small.
Deer Park can go outside though.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, to Paul's point, we do have a giant jumbotron. I would love to watch those games on there too. Obviously, it's not installed right now, but
right. I think it was Dwayne. I posted a picture or one on the story that I was doing yesterday as I walked around at the stadium. I posted a picture of one of those videos, and I think it was Dwayne messaged me back. He goes, "Look at that itty bitty scoreboard back there." It made me laugh. That was so much fun.
Even up to Dwayne to just totally talk trash on other teams.
Right. Christina, before we get you out of here, just a final question: if someone missed this watch party, why should they attend the next one, wherever it is, whatever place it is, however big it is? Why should someone attend this next one?
I mean, honestly, if you didn't get to experience this last Saturday, I'm telling you, like, this energy is unmatched. Like, that's the wonderful thing, honestly, about soccer and soccer, specifically like fan culture of soccer, is like, yeah, you could go to like beat-ups with your buddies and like watch a baseball game or whatever, but it's like, you're like, it's just you and your friends at a booth with like subpar wings. Or you go and there's just, I'm telling you, there's this room of people that I've been here since the beginning of, and I'm like, I don't know these people, and you get to meet new people, and you're cheering, and everybody's invested in the same like outcome of wanting to get a win, but also just cheering on this team. Like it's unmatched. The experience from a fan perspective, like one of the specifically this watch party, but just in general, like the fan culture is unmatched. You won't experience it anywhere else. So it's like, if you missed out on that, I mean, it stinks for you, but thank goodness we have a much longer season now. You got plenty more opportunities to tap in and, you know, get involved. And, you know, even if you're an introverted person, you know, you could still, I'll probably approach you and talk to you, but it's still like you can feel the energy. It's not just like watching a game where you're kind of invested and but you're kind of scrolling on your phone or something. Like, you're locked in because the energy makes you locked in.
Yeah. I think that I love what you said there. The fandom is great. It's unmatched in soccer. I think the team that we've already talked about is going to give us even more to cheer for. And I just think as their success grows, and as it grows, like they lost their first game, whatever, that's behind us. It was their first game with a lot of guys that have never played professional soccer before. That will come. As Amanda said, they missed by inches so many times. Like this will come together. And as you put a winning product on the field, as we saw through the USL 2 days, more and more people coming out to games, we've got a much bigger stadium to fill. And I think we've got a much better product on the field, despite a loss, right? It was disappointing, but we've got a team this year that we have in the years past too, but this is a higher league playing against professional players. We got a team to cheer for. And I'm really excited to see how the fandom grows this season. So kudos to you, Christina and Shane, and all those who are part of Three Rivers Regiment. Tell us if someone wants to look you guys up, where do they find you? If they want to get involved, how do they do that?
Yeah, we're on all social media. By all, I mean Instagram and Facebook. You can always email us directly at threeriversregiment@gmail.com. You can find us mainly on Facebook. We've posted out a couple of things recently about membership, because we do have a lot of membership perks that we've been rolling out this year. Kind of stole an idea off of you guys, started a members exclusive Discord channel,
which has been so fun on ours. Like, if you want to join our Patreon, do that. Join Three Rivers Regiment, be part of that. Like, it's been so fun.
It's been great. I'm very impressed with our members that they've really got involved in this. So it's a very active Discord. We've got a monthly newsletter that we're going to start putting out as part of the membership stuff. Free sticker, get to vote on the signature banner this year. Lots of really good perks for literally $10 one time.
Nice.
Just one time, $10. Give us money, and you can join in on all of this stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Christina, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for what you do for the fandom of Fort Wayne FC with Three Rivers Regiment, and I'm sure we will talk to you again soon. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, looking forward to your picture about your big tifo you're making.
Someday soon.
True.
Don't say I didn't tell you. I didn't warn you.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Yeah, have a good night. All right. That was fun. I love hearing stories of the fans growing and support of this team and all that around town. We're going to need more and more of it, right? With the 9,200 seat stadium that we expect to fill this year, right? And again, numbers are growing at watch parties. There were 400 people at the away kit reveal that wasn't even in Fort Wayne. It was up in Auburn. People showed up for that. People are coming out of the woodwork for this team and support of this team. The more and more they hear about it. And guys, I tell you, I drove past the stadium the other day, and there are seats going in. Like
I was just gonna say that
Mhm.
the
it was so
seats are getting
fast.
installed. Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good.
So I think this stage of it will fly. I think the steel is done. The supports are there. I think the rest of it's going to go fairly fast, and it probably needs to play there in May, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So we do have another game coming up here against Sarasota Paradise. So the team will fly back to Florida next weekend to play another expansion team in Sarasota, who lost their home opener to another expansion team, AC Boise, 1-0. And so we are looking to rebound next week. They had a late start this last week, AC Boise and Sarasota, due to a lightning delay.
I saw.
And I'll tell you, the weather down here is so weird. Like we're in Asher and my son and I are staying in Bonita Springs, just north of Naples by like 15 minutes or so. We got some sprinkles up here, but we drove down to Naples for the game and there was standing water everywhere. Like they got dumped on before game time. And we didn't hardly get anything. And I guess up in Sarasota, just north of us, they got even more. And so, pretty crazy night of weather there. So Fort Wayne will be there next week. Sounds like it's a grass pitch there that looks a bit rough already from our understanding from Paul that watched that match as well last night. Thoughts on this game against Sarasota, the little that maybe we know of Sarasota so far?
Well, I think two one-loss teams fighting to establish themselves within the league. So I think it's going to be a dogfight, to be completely honest. Both of them are going to come out. They want to get that first W on their record. So I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, truthfully. But I hope. I will make a prediction. I will
give
say
me your
that we
score
come out
prediction.
on- I'll say we'll come out on top. I'm gonna say 2-1 is gonna be final score.
All right.
So I'm apparently the unpopular opinion. I think we're going to come away with a point. I think we have a decent amount of organizing that needs to be done in the back. And we're going to do that. That's fine. That's a matter of a few conversations and some guys figuring out how to do things and button them up a little bit tighter. But we are so hungry for that goal that we were so close to so many times. I'm calling 1-1. Sarasota lost also. So you have to imagine all the work we're doing. They're going to do the exact same thing. So I don't know the ins and outs of that match, but it was a 1-0 loss for them, and they're hungry for that goal too. Dustin, I like the dogfight term. I just think we've got to organize and we got to stay hungry up top, but then be able to make those final connections in order to put it in the back of the net. So I'm calling 1-1.
All right. Micah, any predictions on this match?
I mean, considering I've never seen Sarasota play, it's a little difficult to give a
We're
prediction.
just throwing spaghetti at the wall here anyway, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 0-0. I don't. I think defensively we're really strong, so I don't see us conceding. I mean, really much. Tiago is an absolute beast in the air. I mean, no one's gonna he won every single duel. So I think he's gonna lead our back line. I'm just not confident in the attack yet. I think we can defend all day, but like, do we have that final piece? I didn't see it on Saturday, so. I think there's more to be seen.
Yeah. I am going to change my prediction because I went with the 2-1 Fort Wayne over Sarasota. I do think playing on the road adds an element to the level of difficulty. Playing on the road on a pitch that, again, sounds like it's a little chewed up already. Again, I haven't seen it. I want to go back and watch Sarasota's game because I want to get a read on Boise and Sarasota. I just have not had a chance to do that yet. I'm going to go with the draw as well. I think a point on the road is going to be valuable in this league, as it is in many leagues, but I'm going to say it's a 2-2 draw. I think we just missed several chances, and I think I think you work on those. I think you get those together. The back line is stout, it's strong, but had some issues at times with some organization, and I think it might be some of the formation that they played and who's where and who shifts into this slot and not there. So the guys are all capable. I just don't know, playing on the road, it's a little bit tougher. So I'm going to go with the 2-2 draw. Fort Wayne comes home with the first point of the season next week from Sarasota. One last thing I wanted to get to as it relates to Fort Wayne FC, and we're already a little over time. I saved a comment from Lori from earlier here. I just want to throw up here. She said, you could see the team competing and getting a feel for pace of League One. Goals from Naples right before halftime and late in the match made the difference, but this was about laying the foundation for the season. Game one's always about learning, and it'll be interesting to see how FC responds in the next match. Agreed. Absolutely. First match is about learning, but I will tell you from talking to these guys after the game, they were not about a learning experience. Like they wanted to win, and they were disappointed, and absolutely they learned from it. And I get it. I'm not countering this point. I think it's a great point that Lori makes, but they were upset. Tag himself just said, we did enough to at least get a point, and we didn't get it. And we're all pretty upset about it. They wanted to win, and they had their chances. And so I think they're going to take that disappointment back home, figure some things out, and put some goals away this next week, and come home with the point that they had hoped for in this first match. So, as we wrap up the show tonight, I just want to give you guys a chance. Final thoughts on this game, on the season of here we are, let's go. Like, give us your final thoughts. Dustin, I'll start with you.
I will just say I'm excited about the growing fandom. I'm excited about the excitement surrounding the team. I'm excited about what that looks like as we move forward to the home opener. I'm hoping that it continues to build momentum as we play some games. I'm excited to see how the boys start to get better with cohesion, get better with the attack. And so I just have a lot of optimism about what it's looking like. I think when we first started, we were like, "Who are we?" I hope that we can fill that stadium. I hope that we have a lot of excitement surrounding the team, and I'm feeling that right now. And so I'm excited and hope that people continue to stick around for the team, especially leading into that home opener and then for the rest of the season.
Yeah, very good. Micah, final thoughts?
Hearing about the watch party, just having 100 people there, over 100 people, just to watch a soccer match. I remember when I first moved to Indiana, one of the first things that I asked about was the American Outlaws, right? Is there a chapter here in Indiana? And all the information I got was like, yeah, we don't really do that. We don't watch together. Oh, cool. Okay, I guess I'm watching by myself then. But just to hear that support and the time and effort that Christina and Shane and everyone else involved in the regiment, this is where clubs are going to start. It starts at the ground level with these fans. So I'm just grateful that this city has someone like the Three Rivers Regiment to continue to push this. So that's where our fans are going to come from. So thank you guys.
Yep. Amanda.
Yeah, I think as a little kid who grew up playing soccer in Fort Wayne, played for a club that doesn't even exist anymore. That's how old I am. And then we moved to a foreign country, and we come back, and all of a sudden Fort Wayne has a professional soccer team, and that's mind-boggling to me. Like we had the Flames when I was a little kid, but that was a totally different ballgame, literally. And so it's just crazy exciting. And then to see the guys stand up the way they did last night, I think it answers a lot of questions and just paints a really exciting future, not just for the club, but for Fort Wayne. We were watching the game with friends last night who actually popped into JK's, and they were like, that was a madhouse. And so I said, one of my honest concerns is these games are going to draw so much attention that there'll be accidents on 69 as people are trying to like peek around the corner and see if they can see the game. I'm like, I hope that's blocked. But to have that level of excitement and desire to engage in this new professional team, it's going to do just incredible things for the city. And then to watch the kids growing up in the clubs here, whichever club you play for, that's just super fun.
Yeah. My final thoughts kind of echo that as well, to know that, I moved away, and this one's for you, Christina, from Cincinnati before they had a professional team, and I had a team to cheer for. I had a team to root for. And now being here in Fort Wayne, having a professional team in my hometown that I can cheer for. And I love the fact that people are getting supportive of this. They're coming out. I think the closer the stadium gets to the completion, that more and more people get excited. But man, the first time those lights come on and there's a game played on that pitch and people are driving down 69, hope there's no accidents, right? And people go, what is that? Like, I saw this thing going up, like maybe casuals or, people that pass through Fort Wayne from time to time on their way to Coldwater, Michigan or whatever, right? Like to see this thing live in action with a game going on, it really, really excites me. And to know that we get to be part of that, we get to be part of bringing people to that stadium. We get to be part of the fandom. We get to be part of growing soccer in this part of the country with Fort Wayne Footy. No end to my excitement there. Like, I'm thrilled. And here it is. The season has begun. There's a long way to go till those playoffs in November. But man, if you've seen the preseason rankings, Fort Wayne's anywhere from like 4 to 7 in different ones. And so, again, a loss on the road in their first match, put it behind you, learn from it, move on. We got 5 games on the road before we see them at home. More watch parties to come, lots of excitement. But by the time that team plays in May, we should see a pretty well-oiled machine at their home opener on May 2nd. Sure. And I can't wait for that date. So that's full time for this episode of Fort Wayne Footy. Thanks for joining us. We'll have some news this week about potential time change, date change, Sunday to Monday, potentially. We'll be talking about that in the weeks to come. Nothing official on this yet, but stay tuned. You can, if you want to be part of that, if you want to hear some of that news, you can join us on Patreon, become a Footy faithful, or sign up for our newsletter. Visit our website at fortwaynefooty.com. Scroll to the bottom of that homepage and sign up for the Fort Wayne Footnotes newsletter, and we'll get some of that news out to you every Friday all season long. Thanks for being here, and we will see you next week.